It is the Worst of the Riot podcast. I am Hudson. It's my time to shine, my big break. I get to be a part of the Worst of the Riot podcast, but only for a brief moment. I'm only here because Obadiah and Nikki couldn't be bothered to record an intro today. So here I am, but they're in the rest of the podcast, so don't turn it off. Don't unsubscribe. Don't get angry. Coming up in the podcast today, they do talk a lot of dogs. Is the royal family getting a dog? Me bringing that up probably gives you a little bit of a hint as to the yes or no answer on that question. Also, what's going on with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, or is it going on at all? They also talk about the most popular Apple. What do you think it is? Think about it and then find out later in the podcast. And finally, the worst wedding, at least the most inconvenient wedding in the entire history of the world. It's all there in the podcast, all with Obadiah and Nikki, and no more me. In fact, I'm going to be out of here in 3, 2, 1.
Awful, terrible, horrible, pathetic. Someone grab me a thesaurus. I'm gonna need more words to describe how bad these guys are. It's the Worst of the Riot on RadioU.
You know, if you look at the calendar, it's practically Christmas.
I mean, was it like last week I kept seeing we're 4 months from Christmas postings on Facebook.
So I just wanted to point out that with Christmas almost here, a lot of people are starting to announce their upcoming Christmas albums. And I've got a piece of music news that you're probably not going to hear in the Insiders.
Maybe Hudson won't cover it there.
Because it's not exactly something we play here at Radio U. But I'll tell you what, maybe we should. Maybe we should look into it, Nikki. I want you to know that the original Captain Kirk, a Mr. William Shatner, the old guy on the Progressive commercials, he's got his own Christmas album coming out.
Does he?
It's called Shatner Claus, the Christmas album.
Oh, that'll be it just feels like a classic, doesn't it?
It's a classic in the making.
It is.
I really want to see.
So are there any new Christmas interpretations? Are they all covers? Or we don't know the listing yet?
Okay, one for you, one for me.
What's that one?
That feels like an original.
Yes, it does.
But everything else seems to be pretty straightforward. Feliz Navidad, White Christmas, Silent Night, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, one for you, one for me.
I guess I think I knew he sang, but...
It's not so much like he sings. If you ever see him, the one that everybody always passes around is him doing Rocket Man. And it's more like a mixture of spoken word kind of singing. It's almost like lounge singer, Shatner attitude. It's
something.
It's weird.
Sure.
He did a thing with Ben Folds a couple years ago, maybe more than a couple of years ago, that I guess was more of that. So he dabbles. I think what it really comes down to is he does whatever he wants and then Star Trek people buy it.
That's what he's hoping for. So if you're a fan and you're like, oh, yeah, I love William Shatner, then this is something that they're hoping you're going to support.
Well, it comes out October 26th, just in time for Halloween. So, a little Christmas music for your Halloween get-together feels perfect.
Mark that down. When it comes out, we'll take a little listen that morning.
So I figure hopefully it'll show up streaming for free on Google Play. Because
it feels like a free one, doesn't it?
It feels like something that I'm not really going to invest in heavily.
It might be pay like the first weekend, but once they realize they've got everybody who's going to give something, then it's marked down to free. Because then they just need the promotion of it.
Yeah, hey, could you guys be talking about it? Like, can people say can you social media?
Well, you did your part.
I did my part. Like, I did. And at this point, is it the dog days of summer? Is it still that? It's hot.
No, it's the end.
No. We're
practically done.
4 weeks.
Practically done.
4 weeks.
Yes, it's so chilly.
All right.
Isn't it?
Dog days. So when I hear about Christmas, I'm like, latch onto that, man. Stay focused on that.
Some have said that if you just keep listening to The Riot, you'll learn to love them. Has that really worked for anybody yet? Has anyone tested that? It's The Riot on RadioU.
So, Nikki, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up?
I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Why did you want to be a marine biologist?
Just loved it. Just something with that or with animals, like at a zoo, something along those lines.
Where did you hear the term marine biologist?
Not from an old Seinfeld thing.
Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking of at all, actually.
I don't know. That's just what I was going to do.
Okay, because I'm looking here at First Lieutenant Misa Matsushima. She's 26, and she's always wanted to be something, too. She ended up joining the Japan Air Self-Defense Force, and she is now the first female fighter pilot in Japanese military history.
Congratulations. That's a very big accomplishment.
Congratulations to her. She is one of 13,707 service women who make up 6.1% of all Japanese troops. She finished her training last week, and she was officially named a fighter pilot in a ceremony on Friday. And she said, and here it comes, ever since she saw the movie
Top Gun?
Really?
Oh, funny.
When she was in primary school,
yeah.
I have always admired fighter jet pilots, and she's wanted to be a fighter pilot since she saw Top Gun.
I'd be curious to see if there was like a poll you could take from anyone who's active as a fighter pilot and see what was the movie a factor in all of their choices.
Well, it's not like there's that many movies that involve fighter pilots. Independence Day.
That could be one.
Maybe Star Wars? Like, I want to be a space fighter pilot. And then...
That's enough. That was
something
plenty.
of the Interceptor.
That was plenty.
I saw the cover art for that somewhere. Flight of the Interceptor. Firefox. It's not just a browser. It's a Clint Eastwood movie.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm running out.
That's it.
I'm running out. But yep, she is. I'm looking at photos of her right now. First female fighter pilot in Japanese history. And I want you to know she's got a very short haircut, and it feels Tom Cruise inspired.
Does it?
It does.
The Tom Cruise look.
Looking at this photo of her in the cockpit of an F-15, I'm kind of looking off to the horizon. It's parted just so.
That's the inspiration for the picture?
I mean, put a pair of sunglasses on her. She's ready to be Top Gun, or Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Like, it's a thing. So I guess it just goes to show you, follow your dreams and become whatever you saw in the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And that's not going to happen, though, like for everybody.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
Well, my thing was...
You can be inspired by...
I always found it really rough because people would ask me, like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, Starship Captain. That's what I want to do. But there are no openings for that. Like, do you want to be an astronaut? No, because astronaut kind of sucks. Like, it's a lot of training and whatever.
That's more intense than you want it to be. You just want to be a captain, though.
I want to be like Captain Kirk, where you're in a really comfy chair and you got a huge widescreen monitor and you're just...
You didn't see all his years of training, though.
Yeah.
You missed that.
I don't want to earn it. I just want it to be given to me.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riots.
You know, last week or 2 weeks ago, you had a good week, and your mom took you.
My mom, we were somewhere near Build-A-Bear, and they had a Narwhal whale, and which goes back to my previous conversation of, hey, I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Yeah.
And she got me the whale because I had a good week.
Which is great.
That's become a bit of a joke.
It has, and you know what? I got a little something from Amazon last week. Got a little note here. It says, a gift for you.
Yeah.
It says, Obi, I know it's not the end of the week to deserve a narwhal, but sometimes you need a narwhal to make it to the end of the week.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for entertaining us every day. Love, Laura and Dana.
They say you did good for the week. What did you get? You guys, what is it? You got a narwhal, too?
I've got a narwhal right here.
That is so cute. Oh, because you felt a little left out that you didn't get a narwhal whale when I did, even though that was my mom that took me.
So, Nikki,
you have one too?
I've got a narwhal.
It's very cute. What was their names again?
Laura and Dana.
Oh, that was so cute of you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. So now I got a narwhal here.
Do you feel better now that you also get something that acknowledges the great week that you had?
Well, I mean, I think it makes me better than you.
It's such a weird creature to see you hold up because of its
horn.
Its horn thing. It's like, it just seems really wrong. It's like, what's this thing doing?
It seems fake.
It does, doesn't it?
It seems like there's no way that narwhals are real. They couldn't possibly be real.
Yeah, but when we were talking about it, everyone then started tagging us in pictures of
narwhals.
And then you're like, oh, it is a real creature.
Look, narwhals are real. Here I have a stuffed one to prove it.
You have a stuffed animal of it.
It's real.
That was so nice of you guys to include Obi, so he feels like he was acknowledged to have a good week, too.
Yeah, I mean, my mom definitely did not take me out narwhal shopping last weekend.
It wasn't an intentional thing. It was just, oh, that's awfully cute, and then that's what happened. So
I think that it was designed to make me feel like an
Left
outcast.
out.
And like, hey,
Now
Nikki,
you have something.
Nikki does good at work. She gets a narwhal. Obadiah, when you do good, we'll figure out what you do. I mean... And whenever we get to that,
is up to like interpretation. Okay, it's different for everybody. We all have our different levels of good.
Sure,
so
sure.
it's fine.
It's a tough one, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
Tough. So, all right. Well, there we have
Narwhal.
it. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
I hope you find your dad.
Let's keep him here for Christmas. Anytime we have
put him on the tree.
Yeah, anytime we have an elf reference, we can have him there.
The narwhal comes out. Like, hi, Nikki.
He could be a new character.
Yeah, he's pretty great. So thanks, everybody, for your love and support. You know what, Nikki? This is a down payment on a good week. That's what this is.
You're going to have another good one.
We're going to have a great one.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the riot moment to fireobadiah@radiou.com.
Everybody be texting this morning. Want to say good morning to Kyle in North Carolina, Jerome, Alan, Carl. And, if you want your name on that list.
It's a good list to be on. It's not a bad list.
It's not a problem. Just go ahead and text us and let us know how you're doing. We last week committed to starting a brand new podcast. And
here's your thing not working.
Okay. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with taking...
Hey, listen, before you get too angry, hold the narwhal. Hold your thing in case you get too upset, okay?
I just want to say that I'm sure you guys have all experienced the frustration of creating a new stinger set and then saving the stinger set, only to come back and have the stinger set not be saved.
I mean, hands raised, everybody
hasn't
listening.
Experienced that frustration?
Well, you shouldn't be so frustrated because everyone has had that problem.
We all know what that's like.
That's right.
Last week, Nikki and I committed to, and I'm holding the narwhal, by the way. Nikki and I committed to. I can't focus while holding the narwhal. I can't. It's just like all I can think about is narwhal.
Fake.
Hey, Obi. Hope you find your James Bond music.
I guess you could put him down.
Hope Stinger saves your Stinger set. Hope you don't feel ripped off by BSI, the software company that created Stinger. The software that you recently paid to have updated so that it would work better.
Okay.
Hope you find your music.
Just put him to the side. Just put him to the side. I feel like we've left. Well, stop pointing it at me.
Thanks to the horn on the narwhal, I can point at Nikki with the horn. Now listen.
It's like a wand. All right, what is up again with James Bond?
No, we're taking a break. I'm not ready. We're going to come back and talk about James Bond, and we're going to pretend that the last 2 minutes and 13 seconds didn't occur.
Never happened?
That never happened. We're going to come back strong with James Bond talk.
Once again, there just wasn't enough material for Best of the Riot. Actually, there wasn't any Best of the Riot at all. None. Zero. Look, it's all bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's the worst. Radio U.
Well, guess what, everybody? We'll be back in about 5 minutes to talk about it. Until we can do a perfect run at it, I refuse to talk.
No, it's the songs lately have these endings where we're just not ready for them.
Oh, crap. So, okay, back to the Nikki Never Dies podcast, the James Bond Riot podcast. This technically isn't James Bond related. Last week we talked about how Aston Martin, the car maker, was making 25 replica Aston Martin DB5s. Those were the James Bond cars featured in the old school James Bond movies.
They're like $3.5 million each.
$3.5 million each, and not street legal. So you could drive it.
That's not your daily car. You'd have to have something else.
You would have to have something else. So there's that. Now, I started reading up on Aston Martin a little bit over the weekend, and let me tell you something. Aston Martin, it seems like it must be worth it to buy one because it feels like it's an investment. Because apparently when you buy Aston Martin, they just get more expensive as time goes on.
I guess my question is what's the base price of one?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not too up on those cars.
Well, Nikki, over the weekend in Monterey, California, a one-of-a-kind Aston Martin sold. It's one of the most expensive British cars ever sold
at auction.
And wait, let me get the conversion right here. It sold for $21.4 million.
No, it did not. It did not.
Okay, everybody
what
shut
money
it down.
Is that?
Shut it
Someone's
down.
lying.
It didn't happen.
It's lying. No one's spending that much money on a car.
Nikki says it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Deny that. I deny it.
3 times.
Yes. Did I say it a third time or do I need to?
I will deny it 3 times.
3 times, guys. That's so much money, and I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. So it was
I feel like that's a poor investment, but that's for coming from someone who does not have that money.
The DP215 was the cursed car. No.
Yes, it was. Now they know.
Hey, buddy. Hope you lift the curse. It was
not driving it anyway.
The first car to break the 300 kilometer per hour barrier. That's 186 miles per hour down the famous Mulsanne Strait at Le Mans, clocking an incredible 198.6 miles per hour in practice in 1963. So it is a famous car. It is a one-of-a-kind race car, and it's sold for over $24 million.
Whatever.
In the meantime, I'm still trying to sell an NVIDIA Shield, and people are trying to give me like a $10 bill for it.
Well, it's a different market.
I am not investing correctly.
No, you're like, oh, I can't even get a wheel, like one of the Aston Martin wheels.
No, you can't afford the wheel.
No one can have a wheel.
You can't afford that.
Like, I just don't understand those spending.
If you're lucky, Nikki, I could take you to an auto parts store and get you an Aston Martin seat cover for a couple of $100.
The keychain.
Yep,
like
there it
those
is.
Keychains.
There it is, a keychain.
Or a tumbler that says Aston Martin on it.
You're gonna have to. You can only have one. You're gonna have to check because you're not gonna be able to afford all of that.
That's a lot of money to spend on. That's just a small section of what that person's spending money on. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh, 21 million. That's all I had to give. Like 21 million was just a tiny bit.
Yep,
it's crazy.
Insane.
And to me, that goes against every voice in my head that says, don't spend that money. Just wait on it. That could go to a lot of other things.
Mm-hmm. Insane.
But congratulations if you got it.
You just bought the most expensive.
That's an investment piece right there.
People and stuff.
You'd think that after all these years of hearing me make fun of the riot, people would have stopped listening by now. Maybe it's one of those can't stop staring at a train wreck situations. It's the Riot on RadioU.
Man, I just want to have a little chat with you guys, friend to friend, right now. I want to help you out. You might be thinking to yourself, Spider-Man doesn't come out until next week. And you're looking for something to do in the meantime. You thought about going outside, but that's a dumb idea. Playing with a ball, bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. So you
could be throwing the ball. It's football time.
I guess you could, but let's get back to reality. So you're looking for a game to play in the meantime. I want to just tell you to not look into No Man's Sky. I bought No Man's Sky 2 weeks ago, and I can't stop.
See, I didn't think you would. At first, he was going back and forth because it's an old game, but then
it's 2 years old.
Sent out
they patched
stuff, and so people were back in on it, and then they said it was a lot better. But I mean, you've jumped into a hole.
I can't stop. If you
but
turn,
aren't you glad you really got an investment back then? You weren't sure whether you wanted to spend the money on it.
If you turn me loose right now and you're like, Obadiah, you can do whatever you want.
That'd
I'll be like,
it.
see ya.
going there.
I'm gonna be playing No Man's Sky. That's what I would do. Well,
that's good. I'm glad you liked it. You bought it and you liked it.
Oh, I like it, Nikki. I do. So it's been like real talk. And you start playing, and then you're like, I'll just play for an hour. And then you're like, why is the sun coming up?
You don't realize that's the mark of a good one.
Yeah, I can't stop playing it. So what I think I figured out is this. Like when I play a game like Assassin's Creed, for example, I care about the story, but the part about it to me that's fun is like getting your character and getting new gear and leveling them up and like all that kind of stuff. And in No Man's Sky, that's the whole game. You're leveling up your spaceship.
No,
there.
That's That's words that Obi likes to hear. So you almost need a ding every time you hear that one.
I know, it's bad. It's bad. And so I figured out last night how to get this extra scanner so I could make more money.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I started saving money for a new spaceship.
Not in real life, but in the game.
Not in real life. And I'm just like, I'm on that grind. Like, man, land on this planet, scan some stuff. How much money I got? Not enough. I'm getting a better spaceship, guys. Come on. And, being excited about it.
Sure. Again, that's not the bad part about it.
Yeah. And then I got, I've done a lot. It's been a lot of stuff, Nikki.
Hard worker. You are a hard worker. It's still, it's hard working on that.
Dude, I'm just like, put my feet up and mine some copper. Get out the ore processor and turn it into chromatic metal.
He's a happy man.
Use that chromatic metal to repair something. Man, I just can't stop. You guys shouldn't start, though.
You could be learning jiu-jitsu right now, or how to drive a race car, or do anything productive with your life, but no. You're listening to the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Thinking about moving? Have you checked to see how dog-friendly your city is? Because I got to tell you what, I put my pet first when it comes to any real estate location.
Okay, you say that way, but some dog owners do. You just want to make sure.
Some dog owners?
You want to make sure
you don't know anybody like that, do you?
Your breed is accepted in that area.
What do you mean by accepted?
Well, I only say this because I had a dog who was once in the category of dog breeds that are not accepted all places. And I was maybe looking at what if I moved to this location and I had the dog, but the dog wouldn't be able to come.
And I had a Mastiff.
Yeah, so just because it was a certain island location. I thought, what if? I was playing what if. Like, what if I just moved there? What would that be like? But I don't think I would be allowed to bring my dog.
Well, you know what?
Because he wasn't accepted because of his breed category.
Gosh, can you believe that?
I can't.
That's some real racism right there. Like speciesism.
Yeah.
Like, who are you to say that just because his breed is not good enough for you that he cannot be here?
Well, he was in the grouping of it.
Well, I have here a list of...
So some people do check when they're moving.
Yeah. Trupanion. Trupanion is, and I quote, America's leader in medical insurance for pets. They have a list of what they say are the most pet-friendly cities.
Yeah, okay.
All right. You know what? I'll just give you all 10 of them. You guys don't have anywhere to be today. Phoenix, Arizona at 10. Jersey City.
Too hot. Jersey City, okay.
New Jersey at 9. Boy, I'll tell you, if you want to talk about judgmental, Nikki, why don't you just tell me what you think?
Hey, Jersey, you got to fill your own gas, don't you still?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you got to pump your own gas. Out.
Number 8, Seattle, Washington.
Lovely.
Okay.
I have no problem with it.
All right, number 7.
Expensive, though. Expensive.
Yeah, cost of living is not cheap. Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Yeah. I've only been to Colorado once.
I've been to Colorado Springs one time. Seemed good enough.
Yeah.
Number 6, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Great. You could take your dog shopping at the big mall.
And it's a hub for a lot.
It's a hub, yeah.
So airfare might be cheaper.
Because you always have to fly through there if you're going anywhere north.
Number 5, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
That's a good place. Though I will say, it's also a hub. So
yeah,
you're
but
fine.
I dropped Portlandia, so as a series.
You're not watching it anymore?
I wasn't watching it after a while, and now I just don't know the real Portland. So, because I just know it from the show.
I feel like Portlandia was close enough.
Close enough. It's pretty close.
It was funny because it was real. Let's see, Dallas at number 4.
Hey.
It's too hot.
True.
Yeah, it's too hot. West
But
Hollywood.
I bet your pet would love to eat a Whataburger.
I'm sure he would. West Hollywood, California at number 3.
Sure.
Good enough?
I guess that's fine. Still expensive. Cost of living.
Tampa, Florida, number 2. It's out.
Not a fan.
That's like get off the plane and you're like, that's weird. Am I taking a shower right now?
And that's the land where cockroaches are called
June bugs.
Or
palmetto bugs.
Yeah, it's a different place.
Okay, Nikki, the number 1
pet-friendly city?
Pet-friendly city, according to Yelp and Trupanion. What do you think?
I don't know.
Arlington, Virginia.
Oh, I never would have guessed. We've been here for days. Never would have guessed that. Yeah. Forgot it was even a city.
Can't go home until Nikki gets it right.
It's like 1 year later.
Somebody get out the atlas.
Where?
We got work to do.
Arlington, Virginia?
Arlington, Virginia.
Okay.
So isn't that, that's near the Washington, D.C., right?
I believe so. I have been there then.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sure you've driven through it probably. So, yeah, Nikki, that's the perfect place. Oh, yeah, that's where I stayed. That's right across the street from... Right across the street. That would be right across the river.
Practically across the street.
Well, there are streets there.
There are, and a river is a street of a different kind.
Mm-hmm, that's right. It's a waterway street. It's a boat street. Yeah, so there it is.
Okay.
Arlington. It's perfect. You should... We're going to talk about cost of living. It's fine. It's not expensive at all.
So I bet that is still expensive.
So apparently having a pet is just not a cheap thing.
No, it's not. But you want to make sure if you have whatever type of dog you have that it's good to go.
Yeah. Where you're living.
Where you're moving to.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
Look, I don't know if it's real. Sometimes, I mean, I know what it's like to grind for content. You're just like, look, we'll say anything. Just as long as it fills the space and we get to go home eventually, whatever. But I am looking at this article on, yes, the Daily Mail, which is about as worthless as it gets. But I love this right here.
What's it about?
It says that people having babies having babies, that they're looking at baby names based on, oh, please be true, domain availability.
Oh,
so,
to make their own domain?
So, like, you want to be able...
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I would see, like, okay, wait. I think maybe domain...
I ain't having babies.
No, it probably means, like, also if, like, Instagram, if it's open. Like, is the username open?
That's exactly right.
So not like... when you said domain, I'm thinking they're making their own website for it, but also just username.
They are saying that a lot of people, like, they're looking at a baby name, and then they are looking at, and I love this, what's available on Instagram, what domain names are available, and whatever. And then when the kid is born, they register and buy up. I guess before the kid is born, they save all of that. So that way, when you grow up, you're not going to have a crappy Instagram name, okay?
You can have what's perfect for you, even though I think all the good ones are gone.
Mommy and daddy took the time to invest in your online identity, okay?
People do that with their pets, too, so...
And that's why...
everybody's looking for them.
Your name is Lizard Monster 999. So,
underscore.
Come on, Lizzie. I don't want to hear any more about this.
You got the best name that was left, so all the other usernames are gone.
I mean, what if you were Lizard Monster, like, 1000? That's too many characters.
That mom doesn't care about them.
So, that's right. Come on, Lizzie. Whatever. You want to change your name now? You
How
want us to call
funny,
you?
but, I mean, I could see that. Yeah. Even though by the time your kid grows up to start using social media, unless you're creating an account and using it for them, what will be the social media then?
Who the heck knows? But at least you'll always have this domain name to fall back on. They say that...
That's the one that costs money. The other ones don't.
They say that doing it this way enables them by holding these domains so that it will revolve around their kid, that even though it seems frivolous now, in the future, the correct domain name will be more important than ever so that you can brand yourself properly.
Gotcha. So you got to have it now.
It kind of makes me want to move into the woods. Just get away from it all.
So you went into the woods to be your username?
.tv. Don't search that. I don't know what's on it.
Don't take it. Don't take it.
I don't know. I was just making something up. But
that is funny, but I mean, that's important nowadays to people, and I guess that would cross over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a thing. If you guys want to think about it, if you're, I guess, thinking about having kids, one of the most important conversations that you need to have is, have you checked the domain registry?
Or if you're like, no way, but you want to get a pet soon.
So what, you want your pet to dominate the...
No, but your pet would have the same thing. You're going to make a little, dogs of Instagram account.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're going to look anyways.
I hope your pet's either unbelievably cute or unbelievably ugly, because that's the two ways to win.
Ones that make it.
If it's in the middle, it's worthless.
If it's just a normal pet.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Hey, did you guys hear the one about Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
This was kind of a shocker. Like, what does that mean?
They say that it is on indefinite hiatus.
So, like, no Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
It doesn't mean they won't make one.
Not right now.
But it does mean that they're not going to make their release date because, Disney has, I believe, release dates for movies going all the way to 2047.
Something like that.
It's
way past we're all like dead and gone.
It's just this crazy long list of stuff. And they are now having to say, yeah, Guardians is going to have to take a little break because apparently, they fired the director, who's James Gunn, from the first and second movies. He was fired from 3 because of tweets from like 10 years ago. We don't have to get into the whole story about it, but
the crew stood up for him and said, "Hey, we want him back." And he was the one who wrote the script as well. And they wanted to use the script, and then some people said they're not going to work if he's not back. So I don't think everybody's over that because they told the crew, "Go find something else for now. It's not going to be made." At least anytime soon. Right.
So behind the scenes, they're trying to get it all worked out. Mm-hmm. And so there is a chance. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably, because everybody's principled until Disney spins up the money machine.
Yeah, or they'll figure out, or they'll give it enough time to pass to then, if Disney decides to change their mind on what they decided, they're giving it time.
I don't think they'll bring the director back.
If they give it enough time, well, I don't know. Even if they were using his script, I'm not sure. Or if they found someone else that the crew felt like would be the right replacement instead of Disney just throwing anybody in there. And then the crew's all mad at that.
Man, I don't know, but I do know that they like the words indefinite hiatus.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 you never thought would go together. That makes so much money for them.
I know. Like, it's kind of shocking, but that's where they're at. They're just like, hey, we can't come to terms on this. And it sounds like, again, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it sounds like the cast and crew were just like, yeah.
They're not agreeing.
No, we want him back. Who knows what will end up happening. I would imagine they were going to play heavily into the next wave of Marvel stuff because Captain Marvel she's a space hero. So who's out in space, Nikki?
All the Guardians.
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
The movies all work with each other.
I don't know.
Waking up with the Riot makes your nightmares not seem so bad. Actually, you might want to just go back to sleep. RadioU.
Nikki and I, one of the things we like to do off air is that we just keep up with the British Royals. And we're just constantly...
Do we always making sure we know what's up, what's going on?
Looking at the pictures.
Learning about it.
It's wonderful. I just really, really love keeping up with everything, which is why I am just beside myself with excitement looking at the headlines this morning when I see that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, did you see what they did over the weekend, Nikki?
What happened?
They got a dog.
Oh, they're just like us, aren't they?
They're like normal, but royal.
Just like normal people.
Except they got a dog.
What dog did they get?
They got a Labrador Retriever.
Aww.
So they're just like us, except I don't think they have to do anything ever except show up places. I think that's...
Did they have to go pick up their own dog?
Probably not. They were like, you know what, Jeeves, I want a dog.
That's
Give me a dog.
That's a safety concern, Obi, so it's not right for us to say they don't want to, but they can't do the same things that we do.
Right, because someone would kidnap them or assault them or something them, so they have to stay in their very fancy house while people do everything for them.
Something like that.
Yeah, I get it. I'm currently living that lifestyle. So
He's afraid every day.
I understand what you're talking about. I really, really do.
So they got a Labrador?
Yeah, they did. They got a little lab.
I've been looking at, I still love Labradoodles. They're so cute.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
What? I'm not getting another dog, but I still
You've
think
been looking at them.
Well, no,
That's how do you think it starts?
I met 2 Labradoodles at the dog park, and that's why I was learning about them, because they were really cute dogs.
I need to go home and talk to Rolo about your wandering eyes.
And Snickers. I still have Snickers.
Like, hey, fellas, come here. I want to talk. It's not that Nikki doesn't love you guys, but does anybody know what the term polyamorous means? Okay.
Let's bring another dog into the family. It means
that Nikki can love a lot of dogs, not just one or, in your case, 2 dogs.
I saw them and I thought, because Labradors, I don't see a lot of people just get Labradors now. Mm-hmm. Now you have to go like the next step, and it is a Labradoodle.
Can't you just get a black lab or a golden lab?
You have to.
It has to be
something else.
It has to be a freak of nature crossbreed.
Mean to say.
Some half-breed Labrador.
Well, no, like to help with allergies and stuff. Even though I think Labradoodles are still, you can still be allergic to them.
You know what? I guarantee you that you can. And you know how I know that? Because I'm allergic to everything.
You are for most things. You'd be fine with a poodle or most things that are crossed with a poodle.
Here, let's look at the Labradoodles can really have a lot of different looks.
Yes, they can.
They can have a lot of. So how do you know you're not going to get an ugly one?
Oh, come on now. It's just a doggy.
What?
There's no such thing as an ugly dog. Only a bad haircut.
Okay. If you say so, Nikki. If you say so.
They're very cute.
So, you know what? If you were royalty, you just say, get me this dog. And you know what? Here's what I would love. If I was royalty, I'd be like, get me some puppies. I'd play with the puppies. Like, now that they're grown up, take them away.
Why someone else take them?
Bring me another puppy.
Oh, the Labradors are cute, and so are the Labradoodles.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I want to be royal. I want to boss a lot of people around, and I want to have my every wish fulfilled. Why is that so wrong?
And you're not asking for a lot, just to be royal.
I just want to be the center of the universe, having my will carried out without question.
Such a reasonable man.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
They're making this up, right? This can't be real. There was a lady in Canada that wanted to get married. See, that can't be real. Nobody in Canada wants to get married.
Why would you say that?
Because they're married to the mooses and the wild maple trees.
That's not it. You can't own the wild maple trees.
No, Nikki, you can
symbolic.
Yeah. Like, wait, remember that lady that married the tree? Do you remember that one? Like the lady, she was like, I'm marrying this tree, so you can't cut it down.
That's the workaround, they thought.
Yeah.
So then it would save the tree. We also read articles of people who just marry like they think they're married to
a tree.
That was just to save the tree.
Right.
Others are just like, weirder.
The ghost of this tree and I are married.
So, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not worried about the future of humanity, even in the slightest.
So what happened in Canada?
According to this, a woman was charging people to attend her wedding.
Why would you charge people?
So that you could help defer the cost of the wedding. She wanted people, and again, I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying it's on the internet. She says that this says
seems
that
like
they
a Reddit
were
thing.
offering they wanted people to pay $1,500 to come to the wedding.
Was it a destination wedding?
No, it was just
like, sometimes
I know what you mean. Yeah,
you'll pay money and it's a trip and you're going. Usually, you're very close to the bride or groom.
They said
really family.
It was an extravagant fairy tale wedding.
Yeah,
and she is the princess, and everyone has to do what she says. And so
everybody had to pay. No wonder.
$1,500. Oh my gosh,
that would be a no. I wouldn't even think of going.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. You know what? You'd be better off just go down to the Justice of the Peace and ask everybody for $50.
Well, at this point, they said that dear friends, with great sadness, announcing the cancellation of the wedding 4 days beforehand. They broke up.
Oh my gosh.
And
it's not real.
They decided to end the relationship, and saying some of the stress from the asking for money to pay and from people's reactions to that has led to the breakup.
So our request for $1,500 for other guests was not out of the ordinary. We made it clear if you couldn't contribute, you weren't invited to our exclusive wedding. It's a once-in-a-lifetime party.
So mean.
It's not real.
Don't
it is
have
not
a party,
real.
then.
It is not real. This is made up. This is clickbait. It can't be real. Nobody.
Someone's that delusional.
I was
Someone
is. I would say that nobody would do that, but people are dumb. I can see this. It makes perfect sense to me.
It does, actually.
That this is a thing.
So only 8 guests had RSVP'd after sending all the invitations with their check of $1,500. So they were mad. They didn't use those words. They used other words.
Very angry words.
I'm just going to say the M word, as in mad. That's all I feel comfortable
stay with the M?
That I feel is acceptable.
There's a lot of other letters on the keyboard, though. There's
with
a lot
all the words they're throwing around make them really feel ungrateful. So it's bad.
Wow.
So that's it. No wedding, no nothing.
They get a load of this. They had $15,000 saved for the wedding, but they're like, it's not enough. We need more. She says that her who's the head bridesmaid? The boss of them.
The maid of honor?
The maid of honor.
Yeah.
Gave $5,000 towards the wedding.
Why would you do that to somebody?
Do you know what I got Nikki for her wedding gift? It was a silver plunger.
Well, that was because of a joke. But it was still practical and appreciated.
It was very attractive.
So,
very nice.
Thanks for doing that.
That was, I think I may have paid, because of that chrome plating, it was about, it was extra money. Let's be clear about that.
That was nice of you to kind of put the extra money into it.
Well, I care about, your future happiness
but
and bathroom.
I didn't ask you for $1,500.
Yeah, I wouldn't have come. I would have sent a very nice card.
You're supposed to, have a party that goes with what you've got means-wise. You could have had a great party for $15,000.
Hey, I think the idea of if I could afford, let's say that I could afford to give you $1,500 for your wedding, I would, all in pennies.
Right along with the invitation.
Just be like, you know what, here you go.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Do you want to count it now or later? Am I still allowed to come? Can I be here?
That's just expecting a lot, and then how they responded, and that's the mean part.
3,000 rolls of pennies. Fantastic.
The Riot is now accepting applications for a staff pastry chef. Please drop your resumes and an example of your work at the studio door, and we'll get back to you. Wink, wink. The Riot on Radio U.
I heard Nick talking about it. The U.S. Apple Association, they say that this is probably the year that I always want to call it the gala, but is it the gala?
Gala, that apple.
That apple, the G-A-L-A apple.
I thought it was always, well, no, now I don't know.
I know.
Is it gala or gala?
You know what's the worst? Having people look at you like, don't you know?
With a sneer to their face.
But
now, Obi went apple picking over the weekend, so he's the one we can come to for up to the minute knowledge
up to the minute
on this.
Apple news.
Yeah, because it's big stuff. There's big money in that. Ever heard of Honeycrisp apples? There's big money.
You know what? I think the Honeycrisp is
watch it. I don't want people leaving the show.
Okay.
They're very passionate about that apple.
Very. It's not my thing. Because
very.
I'd never had one, and last year I saw that they were, like the farm near me, they were picking them. They were all picked out in like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just couldn't get them. So I went to the market and just bought a bag of the Honeycrisp apples. When I got them home, it was just like this is okay. But I was not that excited about it. I don't think they're that sweet.
I think that's all you should say.
All right.
I think if you try it again.
Are you a fan?
Try it again.
I
like them.
Okay,
I do.
you do.
But
okay.
I don't want to spend extra money. Like anytime I see them at Costco, they're always like
there's a premium.
There's like $15 or $16 compared to like the $7 or $8. So they're always way more expensive.
Yeah, I used to work in a farm market and I loved, the fall was amazing because number one, we didn't have sweet corn anymore and people are like climbing all over each other trying to kill each, I just give me the corn. But apples, it was always calm. People would calmly come in and get apples. There would be pumpkins. It was nice. It was a lot nicer.
Okay.
Anyway, but they're saying that the Red Delicious apple, which I think is gross.
Red apple is.
Red apples are just a Red Delicious apple to me. It's mushy. Keep it. So they say that it's being supplanted, that the gala, which I guess if you take gala away from the apple, that's how you would say it, right? It's a gala event. So the gala apple, they say, is the new hotness. And it's what I picked this weekend.
Oh, now you're the one. You're the trendsetter.
Well, it was the only thing they had available for picking. So I had to get in there. Pick them apples. They were good. Gala apples. I believe I had 15 or 20 over the course of 2 days, but I'm fine.
You feel good.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from McGee's. The worst of the Riot on Radio U.
I've got some bad news that's going to sound like a motivational nonsense, but there's some real talk here. Anything that you want to do that's worth doing, you're going to have to do it even when you don't feel like it. Think about that. When's the last time you were like, man, I just feel like going to the gym?
Oh, yeah, it's a gym day, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what I feel like doing? I feel like passing by these cookies and going over there to the Brussels sprouts. That's what I feel like. I feel like doing that.
You're saying we normally don't have the tendency to have those feelings?
Nope. I see here a friend of mine, he just posted that he's been sober for 365 days. So that's an entire year of sobriety. And you know what that comes down to? That is one big choice, but it's not really one big choice. It's hundreds, maybe thousands of little choices.
Every day?
Every single day that you have to make, where you're just like, you know what? I choose not to drink this. Or it may even be, I choose not to go there because when I go there, I'm going to want to drink this. It could be for some people I've talked to, they were like, yeah, there's certain kinds of music I just had to quit listening to. It was music I listened to all the time when I would drink. So you know what? I had to stop listening to that kind of music. I had to stop watching that show. And I mean, it's different for different people. This is going to sound crazy, but this is true. I actually listened to somebody talk about how they couldn't use brown paper bags.
Really?
Because the brown paper bag is what it would smell like from the liquor store. So the smell would remind them. And so they switched to plastic bags. It's going to be different things for different people, but you got to start asking yourself in your life, how badly do you want to change? Do you want to change enough that you're willing to make a lot of little decisions, even when you don't feel like it? And I get it. It's hard. Everybody wants to do what they want to do. I mean, I want to be at home playing No Man's Sky right now. Cup of coffee, shoes off, feet up, just playing, But you got to make choices. The riot's worthwhile. You got to choose to come in and do the riot,
Yes, you do.
Some days
it's harder to, feel like that.
Some days it is. So look, the thing I want you to know is that when you look at those little choices and you're like, I can't, it's too hard, I can't do it. I can't make the little choices. I can't do every day. Don't worry about every day. Let's just talk about today. I want you to know that God loves you very much. He knows the things you struggle with. He knows the things that you have a hard time saying no to. And he wants to help you get the strength to say no to the things that are bossing you around in your life right now. So whether it's 1 year from now or whatever, that you'll have been able to say no to it for a long time. But don't worry about all that. Let's just talk about today. God giving you the strength to say no to things today. If you don't have a relationship with God, start there. Say, Jesus, I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I'm just having a hard time saying no. Give me what it takes to say no to these things in my life. And you know what? When you do that, God is going to help you. If you already know God, you know what? Take a second and say, God, I need help saying no to these things. And God is going to help you. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just stay on today.
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. RadioU.
A minute ago, we were talking about paper bags, and I know this was like last week's news, but man, Kroger, they're a grocery store. They say they're going to stop using plastic bags by 2025.
So what does that leave then? Just paper bags and you bring your own?
I guess.
So Kroger is also Fred Meyer, Ralph's for everybody on the West Coast. Like it depends on what your side you're on. But
I think Albertsons as well.
Yes, like it's not just Kroger.
They said they were giving out 6 billion bags every year. Here's what you have to understand, and a lot of you don't know. That's why I'm telling you.
So this is why this really hits home.
I have a very important relationship with plastic bags that are distributed through Walmart, Kroger, whatever. It is as follows. I buy my stuff there. I bring plastic bags home. Those plastic bags live in another bag inside a room. And every day when I go to the gym, I go into that room and I remove a bag from the bag. And then I take
the bag is the chosen one of the day.
And I take that bag and I put it in another bag, my gym bag. And then when I go to the gym, I work out. And then when I'm done working out, I put my dirty clothes in the plastic bag that goes back in the gym bag. Now, as a result, I have had the same gym bag for 11 years. Like my Nike red gym bag, which is now an orangish hue. I've had it.
But because you've been keeping the dirty clothes from touching it.
I know. But
why don't you just use the one bag until it dies, and then you just do another one then? You don't get a new bag every day.
What do you mean, like the same plastic bag?
Yeah, same plastic bag.
You know what?
Does your clothes, eat it alive every day?
You are a sweet kid.
I don't sweat as much as you do, so maybe that's it.
Do you know, I've switched out my workout, so I'm doing something different now.
Yeah.
Okay, grab the bucket, because it's about to get real. Like, when I get done at the gym, I go down into the locker room and take my shirt off, and then I go over to the sink and I wring my shirt out in the sink.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Why? Then you have to look at the heart of the problem. It's not the plastic bag. It's why are you sweating so much?
You know what, Nikki?
Can't use a reusable, washable.
Why don't you ask yourself another question? Why aren't you sweating so much?
I don't even think if I did that same workout, I just don't sweat as much.
I just wring that shirt out, dude. Get all the water out. And you know what? People look at me and I'm just like,
whatever. Here comes my plastic bag. Why don't you have a reusable?
Are you staring at my large stomach? Are you staring at my awkward hair? Or are you staring at me wringing out my shirt? I don't know. It's all gross. It's the world I live in.
Are you not going to have any more plastic bags then?
Well, it's going to be a problem.
We have to go to another grocery store.
I don't know what I'm going to do. Something. But I can't just keep putting my dirty clothes in my gym bag.
Why don't you put them in a paper bag? That'll go well.
Yeah, that's it. Paper bag.
Or you can then get a washable, reusable laundry bag.
That thing's going to stink so bad.
Yeah, but you can wash it.
Yeah.
With your clothes. Just throw the whole thing into the washer already in the bag.
You guys don't even know. Like that's like civilians can use that. I've got military grade stink. All right. I'm putting my clothes through Hades, people.
Hell.
All right. Hail. That's the kind of stuff that my clothes go through.
Then it should be burning up. Then it should be fine.
If my shirt just disintegrated, I'd be like, yep.
Yeah, that's about right.
Makes sense to me. What are you looking at?
So the Kroger thing they're going to stop using. When do you have till?
2025.
Oh, you're fine then.
I got 7 years.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking out into the future.
As a potential problem?
Yeah. I mean, what am I going to do about it? So, I'm working on it.
I'm sure there's something on Amazon that can fix this.
You think so?
There's some sort of bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A laundry bag.
Though, in truth, like around here, we get so many free T-shirts, I could probably just throw them away.
Maybe that is the next step, but then...
Now I'm just throwing T-shirts away.
I think we're trying to cut back on waste, though.
Okay,
and I feel like that is being a little bit more wasteful.
Okay, well, that's why, Nikki, I'm wringing my shirt out in the sink, because I want my sweat to go back into the water system so it can be purified, and you guys can drink my sweat.
Wash your shirt there and put it in that bathing suit dryer thing and then take it home?
I mean, maybe, I guess.
Then you don't need the plastic bag.
It's going to be a lot of work.
You'd be like, I'll be back to work in another hour. I'm doing my laundry.
I wring my shirt out, put it in the bag, and then when I get home, I hang it up so it can air dry out. Because it looks like it just came out of the wash. But it didn't.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
All I can think about is Narwhals.